Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate you joining me this Saturday morning. Hope everything is going great for you. Good weekend. Hope you're planning on spending some time tomorrow in God's house worshiping Him. In the meantime, if you'd like, open your Bibles with me to the book of Ephesians chapter 6 as we move towards the end of this great letter with one of the most familiar passages, certainly in the book of Ephesians, perhaps in all the Bible, as Paul's going to address taking up the armor, the full armor of God. If you will, like, share the post, comment, and then join me there if you can. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10, Paul says, "Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of His might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand firm." So this is the introduction again to the great passage on putting on the armor of God. And it's a good way to wrap up the book. Paul has spent a lot of time recently in the letter talking about our family and the different relationships that we have: husband, wife, husband, children, employer, employee. And now he's going to remind us that behind it all, the issue is a spiritual issue. That our problem, our issue is not with other people. It's not our husband, it's not our wife, it's not our boss. The problem is a spiritual battle. He tells us here in verse 12, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. Our fight, our trouble is not coming from flesh and blood, he says, but against evil, the rulers and the authorities. He says it's the schemes of Satan that is the issue. And so he tells us that that is the problem. And so since that is the problem, he says there's a specific set of weapons, of defensive and offensive tools that we need. I think about, and maybe a poor parallel, but if you've got, say you got ants in your house, you go to the store and you go over to the section where all the poisons and such are located, and you don't buy one for wasp, or you don't buy one for bed bugs. If you got ants, you buy one that says kills ants. Well, our problem is a spiritual problem, and here Paul says this is how you deal with spiritual problems. This is the specific need that you have. This is a specific problem, and this is the specific tool. And our problems, he says, all come back to the schemes, the methods, the desires, the plans of Satan. He does everything he can to deceive us, destroy our homes, our marriages, our churches. He is again an evil enemy. And again, we have, I'm afraid, bought into too many times the cartoon image that we have of Satan and the red long johns, or the deviled ham with him sitting there with a smile and on a pack of deviled ham or something, and we name our sports teams Devils, and we just make such light, and it's kind of a humorous thing almost, but the truth is, he says Satan has schemes, he has wiles, he knows our weaknesses. He knows how to attack us, and Paul says because of that, he says you're not able to stand against it. That's why he says in verse 10, be strong in the Lord. He doesn't tell us, he could have just said be strong. Well, then we would have been out lifting weights and exercising and getting in shape. Well, it's not what he says. He says, be strong in the Lord and the strength of His might. And so therefore, we don't lift weights to get stronger. We don't exercise to get stronger. We figure out, we work on developing and utilizing these elements of armor that Paul is going to describe here. And he tells the Ephesians, he says, when it's all done, you stand. You stand with God, you stand against Satan, you stand under with these tools, with this armor on, and you be ready for an attack, be prepared for an attack, but you must be wearing the full armor. And so over the next few days, starting Monday morning, we'll start looking here at these examples, these types of tools, these weapons that we have. There's going to be 6 things that he lays out for us in 3 different categories. And I hope you join me next week as we look at this armor that all of us need to put on so that we can do as Paul says and stand. You have a good weekend. We'll see you here Monday morning.